Good afternoon, fellow FasterEFTer. My talk this afternoon is in 3 parts. First, I'm going to talk about Greek mythology. Because we are in Greece, I'm going to use a myth to explain FasterEFT. First part. Second part, at the request of Mr. Robert Smith, I will talk about the perceived differences that I have between 2015, when I started my journey in FasterEFT with the home study course, and what I've experienced this week. That's the second part. And the third part, I'm going to tell you about a personal insight this week. So let's start with the myth this afternoon. Once upon a time, there was a king. His name was King Minos. He lived on the island of Crete. He was very wealthy. In those days, he was actually wealthier than the King Aegeus, who lived in Athens. He was so wealthy that he had a minotaur. What's a minotaur? Minotaur was the head of a bull and the body of a human. And you know where he kept this minotaur? He kept it in a labyrinth. This minotaur was on a keto diet. Do you realize what that minotaur ate? Every year, King Minos would send boats to Athens across the Aegean Sea, and he would request food for the minotaur. And the food was 7 young men and 7 young girls. And they were picked at random. It was lottery. And they had to get in the boat, sail back to Crete, go into the labyrinth, and then the minotaur would start looking for them. And of course, when he found them, guess what he did with them? He ate them. No vegetarian there, believe me. Just ate the young man and the young woman. So every 7 years, the cycle would repeat. But one year, there was the son of King Aegeus of Athens. His name was Theseus. And he was very brave. And he'd had enough of that. He said, you know what, I've had enough of that. This minotaur is eating our people. And I'm going to go there and I'm going to kill it. So he embarked, he volunteered with the rest of the group to go to Crete and kill the minotaur. But King Minos had a daughter. Her name was Ariadne. And she fell in love with him, with Theseus, Prince Theseus. And she decided to help him kill the minotaur. So Prince Theseus was going into the labyrinth with his sword, and Ariadne gave him a ball of string, like this. So he got into the labyrinth, and he unrolled the string as he walked, and he was able to find his way out. So this is what happened. Theseus went into the labyrinth, found the minotaur, killed him, then went back home. Now, if you think about this myth, I want you to tell me what represents FasterEFT in this myth. What part of this myth represents FasterEFT? Did you tell? Yeah, yes, Sophia? No. The labyrinth? The thread. What? The thread, yes. FasterEFT represent the thread. What about the minotaur? What does it represent?
Our past.
Our problems, all our craziness, and so on. What about King Minos? What about King Aegeus? What do they represent? Us, our relationships, people around us. And what about King Theseus? Prince Theseus? What does he represent? Our consciousness. That's right, our consciousness. It represents us. So in other words, in order to slay our dragons, our minotaurs, we have to use the thread. And the thread is what Prince Theseus used to kill the minotaur and get out of the labyrinth. So if you want to get out of the labyrinth of your problems, don't forget the ball of string that you're going to throw and make sure you find your way out again, which is, in fact, tapping. Okay, everybody's got that? Okay, so you all remember the myth of the Minotaur. So when you go back home and you want to think about Greece, think Minotaur. Robert asked me to talk about a little bit how was FasterEFT in 2015 when I started compared to what it is now. So when I started in 2015, I had watched some of the videos. I liked the content, I didn't like the guy. Just like Laura Worley, I thought, oh, gal, another cowboy from Oklahoma. Kept listening to the videos, then I ordered the course online. So as I evolved in this, and I started practicing and then helping people, doing trades with lots of people all over the world, and then starting my own business, I started to think that maybe it would be nice to go to a live event. And some of the people that I traded with online and so on and so forth said, Lise, why don't you go to a live event? You've never been. I had resistance, and I wasn't sure, do I really need this? But when I found out that it was in Greece, and I thought, wow, now you're talking, because you're combining beautiful weather, the ocean, the history, the mythology, and I was interested in that. And I thought, yeah, now he's starting to pique my interest. So I decided, I signed up in February, actually. I got the early bird prize, and I was very excited about coming. And then when I got here, I was sort of keeping my fingers crossed under the table, and I started to listen to what Robert had to say and the way that he described the program. So compared to 2015, the program is logical, organized, well put together, and very interesting. So congratulations to the team, to you and your team, for reviewing the manuals, for reviewing the program, and put it together in a way that makes sense to the average intelligent person. You don't have to be a rocket science to understand it, but on the other hand, you're not a grade 2 student either. It's good, it's well put together and interesting, and of course, very, very efficient. One thing that I admired from the beginning, and I thought that was the most brilliant, apart from the theory, I thought that was the most brilliant thing, and that is the fact that we have established all over the world a network of goodwill, a network of compassion, and everyone benefits from that. Now, my personal insight of the week, and this is the last part of my presentation. I was wondering this week why every time I looked at him, he bothered me. And I was thinking, there's something about this guy, what could it be? And I was trying to do it, going that, and then I had the insight. He was a lot like my first husband. And I've heard you say, Robert, that you are a lot of people's brother, a lot of people's husbands, and a lot of people's father. And that's why, for some of us who had certain issue with certain people, we in front of Robert, and all of a sudden we go, what is it about this guy that I just doesn't, Anyway, guess what I did? I took my ball of string and what? I tapped. So I tapped on that. I actually wrote it all out. What is it? Write it out. Tap. And then the other night we were on the roof, terrace, and Robert was coming up, and I was standing up. He came over and he put his arm around my shoulder and gave me a little squeeze. And then I thought, yeah, I'm okay now. It's okay. I'm over that. And he wasn't my first husband anymore, and he's never been my first husband, nor my second, nor my third or fourth. But he never was. What's that?
You would have been lucky, though.
Oh, of course. Even if you had been number 5, I would have been lucky. But in any case, no, he is not him, and he was never him. And I felt like I was totally over that sense of annoyance or anything like that. Of course, as you all know, he's very special. Somebody even compared him to Einstein. I think that's a bit much, but anyway, so, But he is And what I admire about him is he is who he is, and he doesn't pretend to be anybody else. And that's why his language is simple. His presentations are colorful, lively, fun. He has a great sense of humor, and I think he knows how to inspire us. And everyone benefits from that. So, thank you.